Hi there, my name is Angela Renee. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. People often call me Pocket Angie, and I am going to show you how to get professional looking makeup on a little bit more of mature skin with Limelife by Alcone. So come on in and let me show you how. So I'm going to start with my eyebrow gel. I love this, and I have a mirror right here, so I'm going to look down a little bit. I'm just getting used to the YouTube-y things. So if my eye gaze goes a little wonky, please just understand that that's because I'm getting used to the YouTube-y things. So I like to use this because it's kind of like hairspray for your brows, and it just makes everything stand up the way you want it to, and you can kind of pre-shape your brows before you really start to fill anything in. And as you can see, one of my brows is just bigger than the other. And so it's a daily struggle for me. So I just fill in all those hairs and the wispies. It makes it just easier for me. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to use a eyebrow pencil that is completely waterproof because we don't want any water issues, right? So what I love to do is I just start at the base of my nose and kind of work my way up to my crease. Now, how do you know where the crease is? Well, there's a little part of your nose right here. And honestly, if you just put your pencil there or your brush there and go in a diagonal, it actually will hit straight over your iris where your little curve should be. And so that is where mine should be. So I start out with this one because honestly, this is the one that doesn't like me so well. So I start over here and then I literally just fill in. I do small little strokes and I do try and go the way that the hair is naturally growing. So that's kind of the way that I do that. And then right here, I'm going to make little teeny flecks. Little teeny flecks. Now, I'm really going to blend everything in with the spoolie in a minute, and you'll see that. And I kind of keep messing with it. So this is not the finished product by any stretch of the imagination, but this is kind of where I start. So I'm going to do the other side. We'll see you in a second. So now that I have finished that part, I just want to explain to you what I did. I took a spoolie brush and I just spoolied that end part right here towards the center to give me more of that gradient effect. And I do it on both sides, just like that. Now, I'm gonna cut out my brows. And the reason I do this is I literally get a kind of a facelift feeling, a brow lift, if you will. And so I'm going to use a very thin brush, and I'm going to use a concealer that is 2 shades lighter than my foundation color. And I'm just going to load that brush up on both sides, and I'm going to go directly under, and I try to do it in as much of one fell swoop as possible. Doesn't always happen. Everybody's not always perfect, but I try to do it in one fell swoop if possible to kind of keep it lengthening. Okay, so I do that below and I do that above. Okay, so now I'm going to take that across And then we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. We'll see you back in a second. Okay, so now that both of those are done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this small little buffing brush and we're going to buff all of that in. Okay, I know you're wondering, why in the world did you just do that? Well, for me, it helps me get things a little bit more even. Now, this doesn't have anything on it. I'm just using the product that's already on my face, and I'm using this brush to kind of move it around to give it the placement I want. Just like that. All right. So now I'm going to take that same brush and I'm actually going to go in with a concealer color that is the shade of my face, honestly. And I'm just going to put that over the eyes. Now, I do this because I use this concealer as a primer source. It's going to conceal all the redness underneath my eyes. It's also going to help wick any moisture that I might happen to have on the eyelids away and get it ready for the eyeshadow. What we're going to do now is I'm actually going to set that concealer that I just put on my eyelids with a little bit of my translucent powder. This is going to be the best thing. It's going to help you be able to blend everything beautifully. You're going to love it. All right, now that's done, we are gonna go in and we are going to do our eyes. I am so excited for this look. I, of course, took a little bit of inspiration from my shirt. So we're gonna use these colors, really pretty red, a green that has a shimmer metallic color to it, a really pretty bronzy gold, and we're gonna top that with a really pretty shimmery yellow. So come on through and I will walk you through the process of one eye and then we will do the other eye in sped up form. So here we go. I'm going to take a really pretty, awesome dome brush and I'm actually going to go in with the red. Now, while we're here and while I'm just pushing this into the crease, I'm going to push it, push it, push it. And the reason for that is I want to get that color right here into that crease and give my crease some definition, right? Now that red can look super scary, but every single brush you use is actually going to have different density, which is going to provide a different pigment payoff when you're using that brush. So this one gives a very fluffed out pigment, and that's kind of what I love about it. Super easy. So there's that one. And then next up, I'm going to go in with a little brush. It's the number 20 small brush. It's super cute. I will link all of the products and the colors and the descriptions and all of that in the comments below. And we're just going to put this over in the corner. Look how pretty that green is, y'all. Oh, it's so pretty. Put in the comments for me below what your favorite eyeshadow brand is. What is your favorite eyeshadow brand? We all have different ones. I myself am a fan of course, Limelife and Huda Beauty. I really, really love Huda Beauty's eyeshadows. I think they're amazingly blendable and very highly pigmented. Those are some of my favorites for sure. So as you can see, the colors look super scary, but again, it depends on the brush you use. The deeper or the more compact the brush, the higher pigment payoff is going to be. what I love about the Limelife shadows is that it can be a very dark pigment, but if you use a lighter, fluffier brush, it's going to go on much more airbrushed kind of looking, sort of. And I love that. Or I can use a really dense brush and get really, really dense. But what's really cool about it is it has no fallout. That's what's really good about Limelife Shadow, is it just doesn't have any fallout. And so I really, really love that. I, of course, use a color switch. Doesn't everybody use one of these? If you don't, I love it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take this color and put this on first, and then I'm going to take this color and put this on second. And I kind of press it onto my skin, okay? Rather than swiping, I press. Love. And then to just give it all a really good blend, I will go back in and just tap that eyeshadow from the red back on. I'll start over in the corner because that's where all of my darker shadow hits. And I'm going to blend that over. Now, all of Limelife brushes are vegan, so that's important for you to know. I love them, and they also have a 1-year warranty, so that's really cool. I do want to stop here for just a second and talk to you about brush cleaning. We have an amazing natural cleaner with harsh-free chemicals in it, and it is young coconut oil and tea tree oil. It's craziness and amazing. It is a solid, okay? So it's really cool. I am able to get around 5 months of use out of this. And these brushes, I wash them every single week. And I really think that's super important for sanitizing your brushes and keeping your face free of blemishes. Did you know that acne is caused more often than not from dirty brushes? Who knew? Now, obviously, hormones and age and things like that can factor in, but brushes, those are always a big thing. So we are actually going to go from here, and we are going to we're going to do the other eye and kind of fast forward through. So okay, so I'm going to pause here because I went too far over. So I want to show you guys how you can fix a mistake. Take a little bit of concealer on your concealer brush, and you can just go right over it to fix any old mistake you might have. Because I went a little too far. All right, back to it. Okay, so there we go with that. And now I think it's so important that we moisturize our face. Before you put any foundation on, you really should moisturize your face. This is important for any skin tone and any skin type, but especially if you have mature skin like I do. Currently, I am almost 44. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe that. But I'm almost 44, and I think it's really, really imperative that you do moisturize your face. So I have to find mine. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to use Skin Therapy. I love this because it actually has pomegranate sterols in it, and that helps that moisture sit on top of your skin, which is super awesome. It also has oat in it, and it is very, very calming to your skin, which I love. And my skin is very thirsty today, clearly. So, love that. So we're just going to let it kind of zhuzh for just a second. We'll see you in a second. We're back and we're going to use our primer spray. We're going to spray that all over, let it get really good and saturated, and then it's going to dry down and be perfect for our foundation to sit on top of. I'm going to ask you now, what kind of foundation do you use? What is your favorite below, and why is it favorite? Why do you love it so much? I love to hear everybody's different versions of what they love and why they love it. Listen, there is a different apple for every single person. So I love to know what is your opinion on things. So definitely give me your opinion below. I'm going to go in with my Limelife foundation. It is so great. It is 50% pigmented. And what I love about it is it doesn't settle into my fine lines and wrinkles. It really kind of blurs my pores all out and kind of minimizes the appearance of them. But it doesn't have all of the fillers in it. Because it is so highly pigmented, it is where it needs to be, and I don't have to use as much. Like, I don't have to use as much coverage as you would normally, you know, as much product to get the same amount of coverage. That's what I'm trying to say. I also like it, excuse me, because, excuse me. I also like it because you are able to just tap, tap, tap all over. And because it warms up with your skin, it becomes buttery soft and it's easily blendable. You don't have to fight with a blender constantly trying to make things work, which I am kind of in love with. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to just show you. This is the before side. It has moisturizer on, of course, but that's it. And then this is the after. I don't have any concealer on yet. We'll do that in a second, but I'm going to finish this up. So there's several different ways of schools of thought of doing concealer. So if you have bags under your eyes, you're going to want to do a skin concealer, skin coverage, skin color concealer before you do your foundation. I don't have that problem currently, so that is I'm thankful for that. But I do like to brighten up underneath my eyes. So I'm going to use a concealer that is 2 shades lighter than my skin tone to just kind of wake me up. It's a good way to fake yourself awake, which is kind of nice, especially on those late nights that you've had the night before. I'm thinking of like mommies. I'm thinking of like flight attendants. I'm thinking of school teachers that have been up grading papers all night. I'm thinking of so many different occupations. So I'm going to go in with this color. And you guys, if you want to be color matched, if you'll look in the description for Colormatch, I will give you a link to that. And it's so easy. It doesn't take any time at all. But for this, I really go super light. I know it looks like I have a lot on. I really didn't. It was a swipe and a swipe. And the thing is, this is actually 62% pigmented. So a little goes a very long way. It's also completely waterproof, which is nice. It is beeswax based. So the thing with this is it looks like a cream. It's more of a wax base. And if you use the your fingertip of your ring finger, I kind of look up while I'm doing it. And what's really cool is you can get into the nooks and crannies, use way less concealer than what you're using. And as a 43, almost 40-year-old chick, I'm still able to use under eye concealer, and it does not cake, it does not bake, and it doesn't show my lines or pronounce my lines. It doesn't shine a spotlight on them. So if you are one of the chicks like me that wanted to use that brand new concealer that everybody's talking about because you just had hopes that it would help you wake up, and you couldn't because it always made you look cracky and everything about 2 hours in, that was me. I felt like I was walking into the room and my wrinkles were there having conversations 5 minutes before I ever got there. It was a strong hold up for me. And this foundation and this concealer has changed the game completely for me because I don't feel that self-conscious with it anymore, which is really cool. So I'm going to do it on the other side. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, there we are. Now, I like to set my makeup. It's just something I've always loved to do. Again, with the wrinkles, you have to be very careful what powder you're going to go in to use to set this makeup. Now, because it is a wax-based formula, it does warm up to your skin, like I said a minute ago. Well, to stop it from continuing to warm and slide all over, you need to set your makeup. You could do that with a translucent powder if you want. I submit to you HD powder. It is the best stuff in the world. I feel like it's an upgrade from a translucent powder. It literally goes so amazingly. I'm using this color. It's the number 1. You have a whole palette to choose from, or you can just get a single one. It's up to you, but I just put a very little bit on and I tap, tap, tap. That's really all I do. Tappity, tap, tap, tap. And again, grab those wrinkles because they're not there no more. It really does just glide over everything. You don't have to stress about any of that powder settling. It doesn't happen here, which is really cool. I like to use this same palette for my contouring or carving out my face. I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller fluffy brush, and I'm going to use this number 9 color. It's kind of dark for me, but I actually like the darkness of it. And I'm just going to go from the corner of my ear down to kind of where your dimple would be if I were so lucky to have them. I'm not. I lament all of you people that are amazing and have dimples. I wish I were you. But alas, God did not give me dimples. So I also go around my jawline and I go up to my hairline. Notice how little product I used, you guys, and I have all of that taken care of, right? Now, I like to contour my schnoz. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but I am. I like to contour the schnoz. Now, everybody has different ways of doing it. Some people use their fingers. Some people use a big brush and they smush it. Some people use a flat brush and they kabuki it down. I use a simple angled eyeshadow brush. Like, legit, it's super simple. And I use that same color. Tap off, y'all. If y'all aren't tapping off, I don't know what to tell you. Tap, tap, tap. And then I'm actually just going to go down the side of my nose. I start up here at my eye and just work straight down the side of my nose. And then I'll turn it to just blend it. Just like that. Now, this is where I like to use translucent powder. I call it baking powder. If you haven't figured that out yet, I like to change names of things. So I'm going to go in with my translucent powder and I'm going to go in with a sponge. And I actually like to put the translucent powder right underneath where I cut out my face to just give it a little bit of extra oomph, something there, right? And then I'm going to go straight down the schnoz or straight up the schnoz, whichever way you want to call it. And I just kind of leave it there for a little bit. I just leave it there. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to do anything else with it. Notice I am not baking underneath my eye. My under eye has plenty of powder. It does not need to bake because I used such a light highlight. I don't need to go in and bake. It's just not something that I need personally. Okay, so I need to put on a little bit of blush. I am going to use this color. It's called Alive. Listen, I've had this blush for 3 years. It legitimately will last you, I want to say a lifetime, although that is a crazy exaggeration, but like forever, ever. It's going to last you a long time. So we have multiple colors to choose from. I like this one, and I also like to set my blush on top of the apple of my cheek. So a lot of people sometimes, especially us older chicks, we're used to or we learned that our parents just gave us, you know, that compact, y'all know, from the drugstore, and it just came with one of those throwaway brushes that we all used, and we just put a line of blush right here. Can I get a what? Let me know in the comments below if you did the same thing. So what we would be used to doing is just that. Find the apple of your cheek by smiling, and I like to set it on top of the apple of my cheek. If you set it on the apple of your cheek, when you do this, when you let it go, look, it goes down, and that pulls your face down. You don't want to do that, okay? So if you don't know where the apple of your cheek is, look for it. Smile. You want to put that blush on top. All right, I'm going to show you over here. On top and blend back. Okay. I hope you learned something in that. So now I'm actually going to turn my attention right back to my eyes again, because I like to do a few things here extra just to kind of like gild the lily. Is it required? No, it's not. But it's so much fun to just do a little extra yumminess. You could just throw mascara on at this point and a lippy on, and you blend and leave. You're fine. But I like to gild the lily just a little bit. So we're going to do that tonight. I'm going to go in with a liquid liner on top of the eye. And I am just going to give myself a little extra something on the eye. Now the key here is you want to try and keep it as close to your lash line as possible. With this, it's amazing. It's actually a brush that looks like a felt tip pen. It's not. It's the coolest thing ever. And it is smudge resistant. Boom, just like that. Here we have a situation of our eyes do not match. So that happens sometimes when I look at a mirror to the side. So you can fix it. I'm going to go in with a little brush and a little bit of concealer. And that is what is really good about having a concealer that has 62% pigmentation. It could just cover up all of the things. So all I'm doing right now is just fixing the little tail. All right, so now that we have that part done, eyeliner is always the scariest part, is it not? Oh, Lord. But I'm going to take a brush like this, and I'm going to grab my eyeshadow, and I'm going to go back in with that dark green color, and I'm just going to put this underneath the eye. Super pretty, very easy. And again, none of this is required, but it's just fun to have a little extra something, you know? Okay. Now, I'm going to go in with my eyeliner. Now, what I love about this specific eyeliner is it's actually a super soft, buttery gel type formula, but it is an actual pencil. You need an actual pencil sharpener to sharpen it. I will warn you, don't use your everyday sharpener for this because you'll tear up the pencil and you'll be very sad. So I'm just gonna line my waterline with this, both the top and the bottom waterline. So you guys have seen that done. We'll go quickly, but I'm using this color, which is black. I'm going to torture my lashes. I'm going to curl the lashes with a lash tool. I love this particular one because it doesn't pinch. It's got a really wide cage, which is really, really nice. And I like to just take it and bend up a little bit as I'm squeezing. And I do that on both sides. And I'm going to go in with a mascara. This is a waterproof mascara, which I just absolutely adore. It's called our Making Waves mascara. It is a jet black mascara, and I'm going to give you a little tip. It's a very wet formula, so don't put any on under your eyes straight out of the tube, okay? Do the top one first and then go in with the bottom one, okay? So I like to put this really close to the base of my eyelashes and kind of shimmy and swirl at the same time. This has a really cool helix brush, and so I just really love that. So I also want to give you guys an extra tip about mascara in general, whether it's a Limelife brand or any other brand. Do not pump your mascara in and out. That is actually going to be the one thing that's going to dry your mascara out, and it also will introduce bacteria into the tube, so you want to avoid that as much as possible. So love this. Tell me what your favorite mascara is below. Let me know. So next up, I'm actually going to do my lips. So I'm going to use two different liners. I'm going to use a light nude and a dark nude, and I'm going to use a lip gloss. We're going to make the perfect neutral nude for my skin tone. So let's get at it. Okay, so I want to teach you guys a trick. With Limelife, our pencils are actually self-sharpening. So once you get the lid all the way on, you want to click it again. And then once you undo it, you have a self-sharpened liner. Pretty nifty, right? I agree. I think it's pretty nifty. Now, I'm going to go in with my Limelife lip gloss. This is the color Grace. What I love about our glosses is they're not sticky. You can literally be talking for hours and not get that stickiness. Your hair will not get stuck. It's really, really a great lip gloss. It can work as a topper for anything, or it can be worn under, or not under, it can be worn on top of just a lip liner or by itself. It's totally up to you, but it's an amazing, pretty color. And you know, who doesn't love a really pretty jeweled lid, right? It just like makes you feel so good. So, all right, I'm gonna get this baking powder all off, and I'm just taking a fluffy brush, doesn't have anything on it. And I'm just taking that off, and we're kind of blending everything together to make sure we like everything. Take one final perusal. Make sure you're happy with the placement of your eyeshadow. Make sure you're happy with the placement of your liners, everything. Take one final perusal and be happy with everything. I love it. And I'm actually gonna go in with my setting spray. This setting spray is a time setter setting spray. It is specifically designed for those with normal to dry skin and have mature or maturing skin. I love that. Again, almost 44, and I'm always thinking about that. It also is going to last you for 16 hours. That makeup is going to have a barrier now. Once you put this on, it's going to have a barrier to the environment. So it helps the environment not break down that makeup so fast. Yes, I love that. We also have a setting spray for you oily friends out there. Yay! It's got an active ingredient in it that helps keep you dry all day long. Super cool. I've even have some clients of mine that use it as armpit spray. Like they legit use it for deodorant. I don't understand it, but they do. It is so fun. But if you're interested, y'all just put a comment below and we will get to you. You can always find me on Instagram or Facebook. Just look for Pocket Angie. You can find me super easy. But we're going to spray this. So I love it. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me for this makeup tutorial. I hope you have found it so encouraging. I hope you've got some useful tips through this. And also, if you want to be color matched, look in the description below and I will help you. I will also have a complete description of everything and all the colors that were used today. So thanks so much, and make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Thanks.